This is Couch Potatoes, the woefully neglected food TV podcast on the LA Food Pod feed that today is neglected no more because joining us on the couch are none other than two of the greatest food TV podcasters in the game. It's Bits Nicholas and Nancy DeSilva of Compliments to the Chef. Bits, Nancy, how you guys doing?
So happy to be here.
Very happy. We love any occasion to come back and not run the show, you know? This is fun. It's fun being on the other side of the couch.
Well, it's funny you say that because my icebreaker question for both of y'all is how grateful are you that we're not doing an episode by episode recap pod of season 6 or whatever the fuck it is of The Bear?
You have no idea how grateful I am.
I'm going to be honest, for the month of May, Bits and I were living in fear that you were going to ask us if we wanted to do it. We were like, we don't know what to do if Luca reaches out about it. We don't want to do it.
Because we love to hang and we love to
Yeah.
bitch, but it's really gone off the rails. I am curious though, Luca, have you been watching just for the sake of,
I haven't.
continuity?
I haven't, but I will be. Saul already kind of gave our listeners a teaser of how it's doing on the LA Food Pod. He said, really slow start, then it found its legs.
Okay.
But then he texted me at the end and was like, it lost its legs again.
No more legs.
That is a perfect example of a show that just did something great and couldn't continue the momentum. And that's okay.
Yeah.
We appreciate The Bear for its contribution in the first 2 seasons. It changed the game.
It did.
But you got to know when to bow out, quit while you're ahead.
I know. It's like LeBron James. Look, speaking of shows that do not need to bow out anytime soon, what's going on with Compliments to the Chef? What's going on in your world?
We had a great season with Top Chef, season 23 in the books. We are eagerly awaiting season 24. I've been reading Reddit. Apparently, people are speculating that it's going to be an all-star season because they never saw a casting notification go out.
I love it.
Uh-huh.
That's exciting. We don't know where it's filming. Normally, we know by this point in the year where it's going to be next year. Leads me to believe it's a place that they've either done before or not that exciting.
Yeah.
Or that the tourism department didn't force them to make an announcement.
I'm hoping it's California. Let's do California again. That was a great season.
I think it could be California.
I would love that.
I think
I
it
would
could
love
be.
that.
But we're feeling good about Top Chef. We felt good about how the season went overall.
Yeah, it was a fun season.
Yeah, got nominated for a bunch of Emmys. It was a fun season.
We talked to Tom Colicchio bearing the lead.
I was going to ask, how was it?
Amazing sesh, amazing combo. He's just super raw.
In a sexual magnetism kind of way or what?
Maybe, actually. No, he just was extremely forthcoming about his perspective. I don't know. We caught him at a really interesting time with the wind down and closure of his restaurant craft, which is going on 2.5 decades. So yeah, he just was extremely transparent about how that was feeling, where he sees food, where the industry seems to be going. And it just was a highlight for us.
It was amazing. I will disclose that after the interview, whenever Bits and I do an interview afterwards, we always just FaceTime each other.
Yeah.
And on this one, we crowed. We were so...
We both crowed.
We both crowed. It was just a very... for us, kind of a crowning achievement. It was kind of surreal. And I know you talked to Tom Schwartz, so that's
Yeah, that's the next mountain. We're coming for you.
Getting into the Bravoverse is the next mountain for us.
Yeah.
But it was an amazing interview, and he was he just kept going. He was I'll stay on and keep talking.
Yeah.
He was very on our frequency with that.
It was a great interview. If you haven't listened to it yet, dear listener, we're going to put it in the show notes. Did anything about what he said surprise you?
He doesn't watch this season. He doesn't watch Top Chef.
Huh.
That's a small one that I'm remembering.
Because he doesn't like seeing himself or what?
He just, I don't know. He didn't really go, and he's just no, I don't watch it. Someone sent him the clip of the Seeger meltdown, and he's I watched that. But yeah, he just doesn't watch it.
He said he only watches it if they need editorial, because he's an executive producer. So sometimes they will send him a very brief moment for him to give an opinion on. Yeah, that was surprising.
So only if it's his JOB.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Things that surprised me. Honestly, not much. Having spent 20 years with the man on television, I wasn't surprised by any of his takes. I think I was surprised, not to brag, that he and I have many similar opinions about the New York restaurant scene. It was flattering.
Yes.
But I guess I am shaped in his image after all these years, so it shouldn't be a surprise.
He taught you everything you know, Nancy. Yeah, I don't know why you're surprised about this.
Pretty much. Oh, another thing that I have to say, sorry, I know we're doing a lot. We had his risotto,
Oh,
which was like
We did. We went to Kraft and had it.
I saw this. You posted it. So you went to Kraft before
Yes.
it closed, and you had his
Yes.
risotto. If you're a Top Chef judge, how are you judging it?
Divine.
It was really good. In addition to, so I get what he's on our podcast spoke about what the right risotto is, and it's like on this side of al dente, not that side of al dente, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And that was
Yeah.
definitely true. But the thing that really bowled me over, in addition to the texture, was the flavor. It was a mushroom risotto. It had like the richest mushroom aura to this dish. It was like out of this world. I've never had such an intense mushroom experience besides college.
That was a good one. That concentrated porcini broth, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, look, great show. We love Top Chef in this house, and we will continue to love Top Chef. But today, we're actually here to talk about a film. It's a film called Maddie's Secret. And for those unfamiliar with it, should I give a quick synopsis? I wrote it down.
Let her rip.
Please.
Let's do it. Maddie's. Oh, don't say that. You're triggering me.
PTSD.
Oh my god. Triggered. Maddie's Secret is a dark comedy about Maddie, a dishwasher of an LA food content company who unexpectedly becomes a viral culinary influencer as her career explodes and she is courted by a prestige TV series not so loosely based on The Bear. The pressure to maintain her wholesome, picture-perfect image triggers the return of an eating disorder she has concealed from her husband, best friend, and colleagues. The film starts as a sharp parody of influencer food culture, then gradually transforms into a sincere, melodramatic story about addiction, family trauma, and recovery. All right, guys, let's start here. Prior to this film, what was y'all's... Well, let me start here. Were you planning on seeing this movie if I hadn't asked you to?
I would have gotten around to it.
Eventually.
I wouldn't have like sought it out maybe like in theaters, but I would have gotten around to it because I really like John Early. I do think he's just extremely funny.
Yeah.
And very like such a contemporary, you know, like
Yeah, I think it was I actually don't know that I would have gotten around to it, but it was very much on my radar. Like the advertising was an N of one, and it was me. So like it got me. But yeah, huge John Early fan. I've been to a bunch of his shows.
Well, like comedy shows, I'll be honest, I was not familiar with John Early before this.
wow.
Maybe it's an LA thing.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. He's well.
Oh my gosh.
I never watched Search Party. I've probably seen him and stuff before. He definitely has a familiar face, but I'm not an Early head.
Oh, so you don't know Vicky looking for her denim?
Never heard of her. No.
he
So
sort
he
of
has like a bit.
he pops up in a lot of like culturally I wouldn't say experimental, but he's like very I don't know, he seems a bit to be like a bit of a darling of like millennial, you know, alt comedy TV. Like he's sort of in everything, especially alongside
Yeah.
the woman that was in this whose name is escaping me.
Kate Berlant.
Kate Berlant. Yeah,
Kate
they're
Berlant.
like a
Yeah.
duo. They're best friends. He's definitely always leaned into like the dark
Right.
humor side of things. Like, and to Bits put it perfectly, he's sort of a darling. He like famously officiated Amy Schumer's wedding as his character Vicky, which is incredibly random, but
even know
very
that.
funny. Yeah, like he's in the comedy intelligentsia of our generation for sure.
So he has a history of playing women, is what you're telling me.
Yes. And he also has a history of playing satirical, or he's a very satirical comic. Like,
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever seen any of his specials. It doesn't sound like you have. But he always, his formula is very regular, which is he always starts out with something overtly funny and silly and that you can really get on board with him. By the end, it's sort of like everyone's gone mad. That's usually how it goes. And he's usually parodying stereotypes. Like in one of his specials, he's parodying like a rock star who's like an asshole to his whole band. So he's always dealing with these archetypes of characters and turning them into like really crazy manic dark versions
That's a
of them.
good way to summarize it.
So it's kind of what he did here, which is he took
Exactly what he did
Yes,
here.
Yeah.
feature length.
took an idea, which is food influencer culture. At least that was the starting point.
Yes.
And I was listening to some podcasts with him afterwards talking about this choice, because I was like, you know, a lot of times when you see these movies, it feels like they have the story and whatever job they're doing is kind of incidental. Like they just pick a random job that makes sense for that character. Here, it was really intentional because he wanted Maddie to be a modern day ingenue. And when he thinks of the modern day ingenue, he thinks of like millennial women specifically who make cooking content online. What do you think of that take? Like, agree, modern day ingenue?
100% agree. I mean, I was really excited about this movie because I am fascinated by this archetype. I personally know a lot of people like this. I also lived through the great chickpea shortage of Brooklyn in 2016 because of Alison Roman's chickpea stew.
Oh, because of Alison Roman?
That stew made a cameo in the movie. I don't know if you clocked it, but it was there.
Wait, which part? Was it a different stew?
No, it's her famous chickpea stew. It was just like,
I
it's
think they made
at some
it
point
at the
there.
facility, like when she was in inpatient care.
Yes, when it showed that table of all the food at the end and they like cooked it together, there was Alison Roman's chickpea stew.
Wow. I agree. I think that was a smart choice. Like there's something very like artificial but non-combative and non like aggressive. Like it's just a very smooth brain type of content and like way of influencing. Yeah.
It's true. It honestly, like one of the parts that felt the realest for me is when she makes her first video in the kitchen at her home and her boyfriend or husband is taking a video of it, and just the way she talks about the food, it is so smooth brained and like, oh, this is such a great
Garlicky, snappy.
Yeah.
hangover-y. I think it was like hangover-y, a delicious
By the
like,
way,
hangover-y
sorry,
vibe.
that eggplant omelet thing that she made, Rhoda made in the Top Chef
Yeah.
season finale.
Boom,
That
callback.
Filipino eggplant dish.
Oh yeah, the thing that she made into a smash burger, that one?
Correct.
Right. That made her go viral. Yeah, I liked this choice. So the thing is, like, there is kind of a divide between the millennial food influencers and like the next generation of
Yes.
food influencers. And the millennials, we made this genre to be smooth brained, you know? Like,
Right.
Maybe because it was like early days of the internet and we were trying to do like TV on the internet. So like everything is so, I don't know, polished and clean. Like if you look at like even a Molly Baz video versus like a, I don't know, random Gen Z cook on TikTok video, like there's just such a noticeable difference. So I like that he leaned into the millennial aspect of it.
Yeah, that's a great observation.
Also, he put it in a content farm, which instead of just putting it at someone's home.
That was so millennial to me.
Yeah.
That it was like a BuzzFeed of yore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Taste,
Yes.
Taste Made, whatever those content farms
Gourmet.
were.
Gourmet.
Maybe. Yeah.
Isn't it funny how we look back on that and it's like nostalgic? We're nostalgic for the
Oh,
BuzzFeed
yeah.
era.
Listicles.
Yeah.
Before
I loved
BuzzFeed
it.
was like breaking news
Yeah.
and like political stories, it was listicles.
And like AI
Never
generated
forget.
slop.
Loved it.
Yeah. It was.
Yes. But okay, I
Ahead
have
of its time.
I agree with you that we made sort of smooth brain cooking content. Totally valid criticism. I find the Gen Z cooking videos so cringeworthy, which I know the Gen Z say cringe, but
Yeah.
grammatically it's not right. And
That was cringe.
like-
the way you just corrected
that
them.
was cringe. I know, sorry. But okay, there are two types of Gen Z cooking videos. There's the type where it's like very ASMR-y.
Yeah.
And it's like sweeping stuff into the pan and the overhead and all this stuff. And then there's the type that I particularly hate, which is what I called like bro food influencers, where they're
yeah.
like slapping the food on the counter, like
Yeah.
loud things and all. It's not pleasant at all. And it's like
Like
cooking's
running
not
a
gay.
knife over the like crispy thing. Yeah.
It's literally like, I'm not feminine by cooking. Like a kitchen is a man's place.
Yeah.
With
Look at me
weapons.
roughing it
Like,
around.
it's
Rode hard, put away
crazy.
wet. Yeah.
I hate it.
It's really funny you
That's
say
so
that.
true.
I love that shit. So I think I am the demographic, clearly. But it's funny because even John Early was saying this, like he's basically saying like modern day food content is actually like hypersexual and sexualized if you think about it. It's like slapping, a wet piece of sirloin on a counter.
Have you seen the guy? There's like a dude that literally makes like sexual videos using. Have you come across this?
Is not
he
crossed my
literally
algorithm,
is.
no.
I mean, it is extremely like graphic and kind of nearly the way there, but he's like using, shapes and he's like slapping this like doe's ass. Like it is. I actually can't believe you guys haven't seen this. I cannot wait for your reactions to this. It's extremely uncomfortable.
I love the idea that this actually doesn't exist and it's just on Bits' algorithm.
Yeah. Or I'm like really like I have a very skewed view of food content, and I just think everyone's disgusting.
Like,
but no, this is a cut above.
That's
so
funny.
get excited.
Well, to that point, John Early said he wanted to make specifically the millennial type influencer because it's so sexless. Like he wanted some like, and actually,
Yeah.
I thought there was a really
ingenue.
Yeah, there was a really good contrast when actually she turned to binge eating. Maddie turned to binge eating. Like the food in those scenes actually then became more like these Gen Z cooking videos where like she has the donuts and the milk dripping down her face and stuff like that, like raw, unedited, like borderline, like graphic. And I thought that was a really effective choice to me.
I didn't think about it through that lens. I do think that's interesting now in retrospect. I think I like that you brought that up because I was kind of thinking about it earlier. Like, what role did the food that we saw play in the sort of like forward momentum of the plot? And I thought it actually was, before you expanded on that point, I actually thought that the food could have done more to kind of like heighten. I thought it was interesting that there was no real like progression of the food, like the food that we were seeing. Like the food didn't get more unbuttoned or like more homey, or there was like no character development shown through the food, the prepared dishes itself.
Yeah.
And I kind of would have expected that, or I think maybe that was like an opportunity left on the table, no pun intended. But but I do think you make a really good point, which is actually the way that it was used was sort of like to show this like violent pivoting of like this like chaotic switch that happens as she begins to lose control more and more.
But I think that like, so my general critique, that's not the only one. Sorry, I am eventually going to become very negative.
She
about
is
this
Nancy.
film.
She is
But
Nancy. This is what we know and love
give me
about
the
her.
topic, I will complain. But I actually, like, for all this meditating he supposedly did on the food influencer.
It's cool. It's texture.
They're coming for you.
Okay, the Symphony of New York City.
Yeah.
For all of the meditating he has done in his personal life and in preparation on the food influencer, I actually don't think this film made any point about food influencing or food content. I think it was
100% agree.
Completely
way
agree.
more about consumption, and I think that's generous.
Yeah. I think that the food was just, I said earlier that sometimes the job feels incidental in these movies. I think there was more care than that dedicated to this choice. However, it was mostly a backdrop. Like the fact that you just said, Bits, the food was not used for storytelling. I cannot remember a single food shot from inside Gourmet headquarters. Like
You're right.
in Gourmet headquarters, all you see them is like trouncing about, washing dishes, making loud entrances, and Claudia Doherty being pissed about it. And then you see them on camera. It's more about the interpersonal dynamics in the Gourmet content farm. But the food itself, really, to me, I liked the way the food was shown because it was almost like food as a supporting character in certain parts. Like, for example, the parts that come to mind are when they're in the facility, the treatment center, right? And they have the like gray food and it's very much a background player. And then she finds her voice again a little bit by cooking the meal for all her fellow patients. And then my favorite way that food was used was actually when they leave the facility and they're having takeout at home. Ostensibly, it's their favorite place to get takeout from, but the experience is so sad because there's so much tension in the relationship, and the way that her husband like just moves the food on the plate, it was very like, it wasn't about the food, it was about what he was doing with the food. And I thought that was a really good choice. What you said, Bits, it made me think like that famous episode of The Bear where Jamie Lee Curtis is going crazy. Fishes, the one where, you know, she ends up the Christmas one where she ends up driving the house or the car into the house. Spoiler alert for anybody who hasn't seen it. Like there, they really use food to like make things intense. Here, it was a supporting character. But to your point, Nancy, about what point is he actually trying to make about food? I don't actually think there is a point about food. I don't even think this is satire or parody at all.
Yeah. Like at the beginning it was, and it was funny, and I was enjoying sort of laughing at this archetype that he was also making fun of. But I very quickly was like, okay, to what end? Where is this going?
Yeah.
Are we going to land the plane?
And you would argue he did not.
No. I would argue that he had a really funny idea and he did not know what to do with it.
Interesting. Do you feel the same, Bits?
I'm trying to have like an objective reaction to my own reaction in a meta way, because I feel
Why be objective?
I know. I think what I'm trying to, you know, anytime like something makes you a little uncomfortable, you know, like why is this making me uncomfortable? I think one of the things that Nancy and I spoke about when we left the theater was like, what was the tone? Like, what was this? What was the tone? You try to put movies into a box. Like, is this an action? Is this an indie? Like, and this didn't fit neatly into a box. And I don't know if it's because it was never supposed to, or if it just failed to, like, I just don't think it maybe really walked the line between being, you know, that transitional moment between being satirical to being just full on earnest. And so, yeah, I think it kind of got a little bit muddied. And I think my initial reaction to The Secret being an eating disorder and bulimia was actually kind of surprised at first. The first thought I had was, oh, they're going to give Maddie just like a crazy, it's going to be something that is funny and parodying or getting at the idea of like disorder around eating and like food culture, but it's not going to be that. It'll be something like, oh, and she's addicted to eating toilet paper. Like something
like a metaphor.
Yes, like a metaphorical absurdity that kind of matched the rest of the absurdity of the tone of the movie. So when it shifted into like, oh, it's been a joke and like kind of a derivative script up until this point, and now we're talking about a really serious thing, I was kind of like, I'm not sure how to feel. Like, I'm not sure what reaction you want me to take.
Well, and I'm not sure that like this is what I want this movie to be. Not that it's like for me, but like.
But kind of. I mean, let me ask you this. So your theater experience, how full was your theater?
15, 20.
Okay.
But the girl next to us was eating a burrito.
And she was loving it. She was howling,
slopping down.
I mean,
on that
I meant
in a Gen Z way, not a millennial way.
In a Gen Z way.
That's what I was going to ask you is, was there laughter at certain points where you were like, why are they laughing?
I think Nancy and the burrito girl were the two largest laughs in the crowd. I don't know. Funny. I don't think it wasn't awkwardly quiet, but the movie wasn't really like full of belly laughs. Like it was like one, you know, little one-off things, like the boar, like that's funny. Like that was sort of where the comedy landed, was in like smaller choices.
Yeah.
I saw it in like in Burbank, which is one of the worst places in Los Angeles objectively, and I saw it in a mall movie theater, which the mall was relatively new, but the movie theater looked like it hadn't been updated since the 90s. It was a tiny theater. It was maybe like 30 seats, but it was packed. Wow. And there was a lot of like film school looking motherfuckers. Like if you've been in LA, you know these people, you know how they dress. And like just the way that they were watching it and laughing, they laughed at almost every line, almost everything. Really? And I laughed one time, and nobody else laughed at that.
So, what did you laugh at?
I think it was something. I think it was like a really insidery restaurant joke. Like, I think there's one scene where she's in line for a restaurant, which, by the way, it's a restaurant in Echo Park called Naughty Pie Nature, which doesn't even have an indoor, which I found funny. And I just laughed at some detail like that, like, huh, they don't even have a dining room, that kind of thing. So,
Gotcha.
The thing that Bits and I both really, I have a note of things that I thought of as leaving the theater. Here's what's in my note. Girl next to us brought and ate a whole burrito.
did it look like a good one, or was it Chipotle? Or Chipotle is fine, by the way.
I don't know what it was. The other thing I have, we famously bring in ridiculous snacks into movie theaters.
Yeah.
We brought a cake into the movie theater.
A whole cake?
It was like a mini cake, but we ate it.
Like a Whole Foods Rubicon type cake, like the smaller ones?
It was
But
in
like
like
a
its own little self-contained dish.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was
Got it.
respectable.
No one's like looking at you being like, why are these people?
No,
Yeah, it
no
wasn't like a
multi-tier.
birthday cake. But
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
cake. We brought cake into the theater. My popcorn was
respectable.
stale. That's another note that I have in here.
Mm-hmm.
And the last note that I have is the line that Bits and I both like really laughed at, which was when her husband is like, "Let's get something stinky from the whatever," because that reminded me of that Tim Robinson sketch, like go like with these hogs at the Hog Fest. Like it was kind of that
Yeah,
energy.
there was a few yes, I agree.
Those are my
Yeah,
notes from
yeah.
the movie.
That's hey, more than my notes. I took 0 notes. I think so. I'm actually surprised to hear that you've got so much negativity around it, Nancy. I mean, I'm not surprised, but also like I'm surprised because I actually felt the same way as y'all did. I think in the theater, and I was like, I don't get how I'm supposed to feel. I don't get what is happening. I'm uncomfortable. I was really uncomfortable with John Early choosing to play Maddie himself because it was him exploring an issue that disproportionately impacts women, aka eating disorders, and just like it felt like a really delicate tightrope to walk. Like one wrong move and it could have gone horribly wrong. And it reminds me of what Father Saul always says about me interviewing like well-known chefs. He's like, I don't want to watch it because I'm worried that you'll fuck up or they won't like you or anything like that. And it's kind of how I felt watching John Early do this, because I'm like, I want you to get this right. It's a cool choice, but like it feels very delicate. His reasoning, but of course what I do is I'm very impressionable and I go back and I listen to all the podcasts and I hear his reasoning for everything, and now I'm like, holy shit, this man's a genius. Every choice, incredible.
Okay, tell us.
Like, the
Tell
fact-
us.
Yeah.
Well, so the tone of the movie, he basically inspired it after these like PSA movies that him and his friends, who were mostly girls, would watch growing up, and they were kind of these like very like made for TV movies about like I think one was called like Kip's Secret or something, and it's literally like a PSA movie about bulimia basically, and they're very
remember this one.
melodramatic. You remember this one? I've not seen
Yeah.
it.
I'm pretty sure this is the one where the girl, gross incoming, stores her vomit in jars in her closet.
Damn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was I mean, that one made the rounds in middle school, as you can imagine. Like, have you seen the vomit closet movie yet? Yeah. But I did have that thought watching it. I was like, okay, there is a sort of like earnest after school special.
Yeah.
But to what end?
That was
I just-
the inspiration for it.
Yes.
I mean, honestly, that's a thing, right? That's where you kind of get me, because even when he's explaining it, he's like, just because. Like, I had this character, Maddie, and I wanted to put her in a world and I wanted to make a film with my friends. And that was it. Real quick about his choice to play Maddie, he actually said that one of the reasons was whenever there's one of these movies that explores these topics about bulimia or eating disorders, like for a lot of people, it's really hard to watch them and separate the actress from the situation, being like, okay, you're actually playing this role, but if people are saying horrible things to you or they're talking about your body, when you're done acting, can you actually like break out of your mind and like be like, oh, that wasn't actually about me, that was about my character. And so for some people watching it who have experienced eating disorders, like it can be triggering to see that. So he said, actually, by putting myself in there, and it's so obvious that he's like, like it's actually creating a barrier for people to be able to like fully experience the story, which I thought was a compelling argument.
Did he talk at all about the like Girl Interrupted-esque psych ward that he said it in?
He did not actually. Like I that was one of the most unexplored parts of the podcasts he did.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a really sharp departure for
to say the
movie
least.
as a whole.
And I mean, if it's the least, I'm not surprised it's the least explored thing because it felt incredibly not thought through. I don't, or maybe it was thought through.
In what way?
It just, to your point, it was such a sharp departure that I was like,
Yeah.
where did we decide to do this?
I think that's the part where it really kind of emphasizes for me that this was never a food movie. It was
Yeah.
always supposed to be
Yeah.
a tribute to these like PSA movies, and food just kind of happened to be in it. And that to me is the best explanation for that.
Yeah. Again, like another sort of thing that made it difficult to sort of read what to take away, because we also like went there about halfway through the movie. Like there wasn't, it sort of like was weird that the movie was really split into these two halves of like working at Gourmezy or whatever.
Gourmet, how dare you?
Gourmezy. Gourmezy's gross.
That's good. I'm sure
And
that was
then-
in the running for the names.
Yeah, yeah. So it felt like I wasn't sure which space the narrative was like meant to be grounded in. Like it kind of was just like cut down the middle. This is also making me think of like, what purpose did Kate Berland's character
Yes. There were so many
a
loose
great
ends.
bring
question.
to this story?
Yeah.
Like, what was the message that we're supposed to be left with, like, on this? Because I was like, okay, at first I'm like, oh, this is a good friend, and she can't be there for her good friend. And I'm like, oh, no, but now she's a little unhinged and is not a healthy relationship. So, and I didn't understand what the parallel between that is and Maddie's journey.
I also didn't get why the fuck she left her at the facility. Like that felt ice cold.
Right. Like, doesn't serve me anymore, and I didn't understand where, I think on the whole, where her sort of journey through self understanding left her with the people in her life, with Kate Berland's character, with her husband. The husband was like a little bit clearer. It ended in a bit of, we might not be good, but she seemed to be okay with that or come to terms with that. But yeah, that you have all this like cast of supporting characters, and then it's sort of, and then we have the arch nemesis coming and like giving cake at the end, and like
Yeah.
Yes. There were a lot of like unexplored, very dark things in this
Yeah.
movie. Like, lest we forget the character of her mother.
Great actress.
And like,
right.
oh, amazing actress.
Yeah.
But that whole episode of like,
for sure.
she would take me to bars and essentially like
Yes,
use
what?
me to bait men.
Very
like,
dark.
I think that what I really struggle with is I really love John Early, and I always find that like he lands the plane. And I know I've said that before, but in this one, it felt like, have any bits I know you have, Luca, have you ever taken an improv class?
Yes, I have.
Okay, so, cool. So,
So we're
we've
all very cool.
at one
We've all
point thought that
dabbled.
we'd become famous comedians.
Yes, and
Yeah. So, when you're like really fucking up in an improv scene and you just keep like heightening it and adding things into the world that like don't need to be
Yes.
there because you're like struggling, hoping that someone will like catch a thread and like do something with it.
yeah.
That is what like the last 30 minutes of this movie were to me. Like the nemesis like bringing her cookies and calling herself a cunt, and the mom, like it just felt like he was adding like all this
Yeah.
stuff
Yeah.
that hopefully we'd make sense of. I feel this way about the second half of Barbie too. Like what happened?
No, 100%. It's funny. Yeah, it's basically Michael Scott just bringing a gun into every scene for no reason in the improv class. Yeah,
Great
I
reference.
don't know. So I think that the main thing that we're like Maddie's supposed to learn throughout this whole thing is that she doesn't have to be perfect, and like she can finally, like I know that is the message
Yeah.
she wanted to get across explicitly. And definitely at the end, the Claudia Doherty, the Emma Brown, the like nemesis character spells that out perfect. Like she spells that out explicitly. She's like, gives her the tahini cookies, and Maddie asks her what changed, and Emma Brown says, "Well, I just had to see that you weren't perfect." So
Yeah.
that was the message. But like, again, at the expense of like what she does to the husband is so fucked up. Like with the baby.
Yes.
That's so
Yes.
and there's no redemption for that.
No,
at all.
no, it's just like okay, well now you know.
But I'm glad there's no redemption for it. Like there shouldn't be.
But she's not even like I don't even feel like she really said sorry for that.
Yeah, it
part.
was
like,
sort of
literally,
just
she never even addresses it.
Yeah.
he just learns about it, and then you see him packing up the Amish crib, and then all of a sudden she sees it, and then she's off running. She just fucks off and runs. Like really weird ending to me.
Insane ending.
Yeah.
Also unaddressed is like the sexual harassment in the workplace.
Yeah.
What was that about?
Yeah, that was just like a bit. It was like reduced to a bit, basically.
Right. Yeah, and then she realizes that they're not both being sexually harassed. So yeah, there was like a lot of darkness in this movie.
It was very dark, yeah. And I don't think it was about food. Like it just wasn't. It was food as an entry point. But that said, I did see it cause some interesting online discussions from food influencers that I follow, specifically women food influencers.
Okay, give it to us.
Well, basically what I saw is people highlighting this, situation where sometimes people who have had disorders or who have body image issues at least gravitate towards food influencing or develop them via food influencing. And I saw mostly women posting about this, but it's definitely something that I've experienced myself as someone who eats on camera all the time. You do get to be like self-conscious after a while. And if your like weight fluctuates and stuff, it can be kind of jarring and to say the least. But I feel like that is definitely an underexplored territory. How our exposure to food on social media at such like a high clip, to the point where it's just like these, to use your word, bits, smooth brain videos that we see, we don't really internalize, we forget about. They must have some like impact on our subconscious regardless. And to me, that was a very meaty topic that this kind of scratched the surface of and maybe sparked some conversations around, which is cool. But I would have loved to see that explored a little bit more.
And there was no real like, yes, I completely agree. I just don't think it had the ingredients to land that. Like, I think the thing that makes people think that food influencers are perfect is because they only experience them through their content.
Yeah.
And that wasn't the case in this movie. It was the people that were in Maddie's life just thought she was perfect. And she also happened to just make food content.
Yeah.
Like there wasn't the pressure that comes with needing to be perfect in front of the camera, like wasn't a dimension. It was just a more generalized need to be perfect in her life. So I thought that was another kind, as you're explaining that, like that feels like a very real gap in a way that's just like, no, I think the thing to examine is what the sort of like the screen, like the veil that the screen puts up. And yeah, that wasn't really here. And I don't know, like the message of I just want to be, or I nobody's perfect, or I don't have to be perfect feels so flimsy as the message for this, given all of the strife. Like
right. It's like the juice was not, or it's not really a juice not worth the squeeze. It's like so much juice and we squeezed it so little.
Yeah, for so little squeeze. Yes.
Yeah.
The juice was worth the squeeze, but we just got a little squeeze.
Yeah. I think that's perfectly put, Bits. Like it just, this is a real, like remember that movie that Aubrey Plaza did, Emily Goes West?
Ingrid Goes West, yeah.
Ingrid Goes West.
Yeah.
That was, I think, the first piece of pop culture content to really criticize influencing and content creation.
For sure.
And I think that I anticipated a similar experience with this one. I knew it was going to get weird. Like there was no doubt that it was going to get dark. But I think that the PSA tone was almost like such a joke that I couldn't take any of the serious stuff seriously.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it does such a disservice to what could have been an incredibly interesting like meditation on this subject.
Yeah. It's funny because like I genuinely feel like he was intending to do a campy tribute to those PSA movies. And when you watch it through that lens, I think you definitely can accept or better understand some of the choices that he makes, especially with the writing. But yeah, I mean, those movies were made as bad as they were sometimes with the vomit closet to have a message and to,
You got to fact check me on that one. Or maybe don't. At your own risk.
Vomit closet. Name of F, vomit closet.
Vomit closet. I think I was gonna
Vomit
say
closet.
we know what we're calling this episode. Maddie's secret, aka the vomit closet. Look, the other thing that has struck me about this movie is that when you look online for reviews, it's pretty much exclusively positive. Like everybody, I'd say 85% of what you see online is, damn, Maddie's got the secret sauce. John Early's directorial debut comes out with fireworks. Like all of these superlatives. Are you surprised by that universally positive reaction?
I am not, because I think that that is way more of a product of the state of criticism in the world. Like, and Luca, you talk about this
Yeah.
all the time on your podcast around like the state of food criticism.
Don't pretend to listen.
I
Don't
listen from
pretend you
time to
listen.
time. I do. Not every
kidding.
week. No, but you talk about this, and
would.
we've talked about this. Like the state of criticism in general, be it food criticism, TV, media, culture, whatever, is so far gone. Like we've lost
Yeah.
a central point of like you can dislike something and have valid criticisms and still respect the art form. And I think that in this day and age,
Yeah.
it's impossible
Right.
to give any sort of negative critique without being said like you're wrong.
I think this movie in particular, like I wouldn't.
Yeah, and the subject
be a
matter of
risky-
this movie is such
a,
that like,
a risky move, you know. Subject matter, male
Yeah.
lead playing a female lead character. Like, there's so many dimensions of like Mr. Movie Critic. Like, it was great. but I agree. Like, I think that I just couldn't agree more with the like culture of critique, and it doesn't surprise me either because it was something different and weird, and I think people just regardless, it's interesting. Like, I don't know, to put it through the lens of Top Chef, it's okay, it's beautiful and it's interesting, but is it actually
Yeah.
good? Like, do you enjoy
This is a
eating it?
Boogaloo
And I
dish.
think like maybe like it ticked the first two boxes and it's like, okay, but it's not actually like
yep.
good to
Yeah.
eat,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know?
No, and it's so. Did you guys follow the whole Eddie Wang, Ryan Sutton, New York Times back and forth?
No.
No.
Okay, so you guys familiar with Bauhaus, the restaurant?
Yes.
Drama.
So they were reviewed by Ryan Sutton at the New York Times, and it was not a great review. It was kind of lukewarm. And Eddie Wang is a very famous restaurateur. He has his own Substack called Canal Dreams, which gets a bunch of views, maybe like not comparable to the
Yeah.
New York Times, but it's a platform, and he's got a bunch of Instagram followers himself. And he basically clapped back super loud at the review and was talking about how it wasn't fair for XYZ reasons. Like the reviewer went during the Knicks playoffs, which apparently was just a madhouse, not a time when you should be reviewing a restaurant, et cetera, et cetera. But
That's a little fucked up.
it is. But to me, that's what criticism should be, especially in
Yeah.
an era when people have platforms to talk back. Like, we shouldn't necessarily be afraid of criticizing something because that person has a platform to defend themselves. So, like, in an
Yeah.
ideal world, it would be cool to see a critic like be like, "Yo, John, so what was up with the whole like, you know, her being basically an asshole to everybody in her life thing? Like, what
Right.
like?" And then he would have the ability to talk back in this day and age. But I just feel like we're all so
Right.
afraid of like hurting people's feelings. I don't want to like get into snowflake culture or anything like that, but I just mean like even critics seem afraid to like make enemies or rub people the wrong
Well,
way
there's
or
also
hurt
I
people.
completely agree, but I think that there's also a difference between critique is different from criticism. Firstly,
Yeah.
critique means just engaging in critical thought with this. So like you can say, John, why did you make this character an asshole to everyone in her life? That is a valid question and something that goes
Yeah.
unexplained in the movie. It is a valid critique, but it is not a criticism of the movie. Like you can have critical thoughts
Yeah.
about a body of work without criticizing something. And that is what we are engaging in. And I think that, I mean, honestly, the New York Times is in like a crazy state right now. Like, didn't Priya Krishna have that whole thing where she like brought a child to a restaurant and had them order a martini,
I didn't see
and the
that.
restaurant like refused to serve the child, and she was like, "That was bad service." And it's like you had an 8-year-old order a martini.
That's just the law.
Yeah, like, and so I think that's just an anecdote. Like, New York Times aside, post Pete Wells is unfortunately, like, you're never going to come down from the Mount Olympus of the Guy's American Bar and Grill, the greatest review of all time. With everyone having a platform, we have lost the art of critique. And it doesn't stop us from having a podcast and talking and all this stuff. You know, like, we are fully participating in the death of this art form. But I think that we need to recognize that the nature of critique has changed and expect something different from it in going forward.
Yeah, it kind of brings it all back to the influencer thing, which is ostensibly what this movie is supposed to be about, right? Okay, well, we've talked a lot about Maddie's Secret. All in all, would you recommend people go see it? Bits, let's start with you.
I would. I would see it. I think one critique I didn't touch on, as everything in this day and age, it's too damn long. But I do think it was an interesting. It's just, I think it's fun to see the creative process, or like the output of a creative process of a creator that you've been following for some time, and it's kind of cool to just see them take on the next level or the next challenge. So I think in that way, I appreciated it. And look, everybody else seemed to, all the commentary we just had on critique culture aside, like, people do like it, baby. So yeah, I would recommend seeing it. What about you, Nancy?
Smash or pass?
I mean, I'd watch it on a plane. I would not tell someone to run to the theaters to see it.
That's a good.
I like
I
that.
agree.
Yeah, that's
like,
a good
it's
compromise.
I will give credit where credit is due. It is different from everything that's in theaters right now. It's not a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
It's not like super smooth brain, like algorithm built script. So
Right.
it is definitely from the mind of a single person. And for that, I appreciate it. But I wouldn't run to see it.
Yeah.
All right.
Go to the plane. Go book a flight. Watch it.
Book yourself a nice cross-Atlantic vacation and watch it on Delta One, and that's how we'll do it.
Wait, what about you? Would you tell people to watch it?
As I said, very impressionable. So yes, I would say go watch it. But again, obviously, I would say almost go watch it as an exercise in thinking critically. Like, go and have a discourse with this movie, because it's a rich, meaty movie to unpack. No pun intended. I went to go see it alone, which was like, kind of, I think, defeats the purpose. Go see it with somebody you enjoy talking to, have a drink after, unpack it, especially if you're into food. And to me, that's the best way to enjoy this movie.
agree with
But
that.
hey, to your point, Nancy, I'm stoked it exists, because everything is the same these days. And I'm glad this isn't just the same old Netflix movie that comes out featuring Jason Bateman and Adam Sandler, and you watch once and forget about. So I'm glad it's not that.
Amen.
Although I love Jason Bateman. Yeah, I love Jason Bateman.
Jen
And
Aniston,
Jennifer
strong
Aniston.
opposite.
And Adam Sandler. All right, guys, it's been an absolute pleasure. We got to have you back ASAP. And Maddie's Secret, out in theaters now. It comes out streaming July 30th. So mark your calendars.
Bye.
Bye.